Hey, welcome to the Ether Diver week 15 patch of the week. This week we have a kind of something special. We have an all Benjolin patch accompanied by a graphical score. Ta-da, there's the score. I'll put that on screen in high res here in a second. And also in the accompanying, I'm going to do this a little different. I'm going to do separate videos on this, do a performance video that's just a performance. It's about 7 minutes long. It will, it'll be the recommended video at the end of this one. So it should be pretty easy to find. And then this is just going to be the talking video. And I'm going to try and be relatively concise. Okay, so this is a relatively simple patch. It's all Benjolin, audio-wise. All the sounds come out of Benjolin. I do have it running through the mimeophone for a little bit of delay, and the Talon just as basically acting as a VCA that it does probably warm it up just a little bit. I think I have it cranked just the tiniest bit past 12 o'clock, so it's warming it up a tiny bit, but not much effect on it. And then through the mimeophone, because you put noise through a delay, and all of a sudden it's music. And then the rest of it is all on the Benjolin. And real quick, I want to I'm gonna put up this score on the screen. This was sent to me. That was sent to me by Kilo Llama, a fellow YouTuber here. His video will be linked in the description, and maybe it'll pop up if I'm smart enough to figure that out. He sent me this score. I sent him one, and we performed each other's scores, interpreted and performed each other's scores. So I spent a lot of time staring at this thing and thinking about it, and came up with a lot of different stuff that the different numbers corresponded to, number of cables, number of knobs that I could use at any given time or for the performance, the number of inputs and outputs that could be used, all kinds of stuff. It would be exhaustive to go through all the stuff I figured out, but let me hit some of the highlights here. I got to put this on screen so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. I determined that the 4 circles represented the rungler and its outputs, and the dots are movements of the rungler or its outputs, and prescribed by the score, and the rest of it is so it's rungler driven score because the Benjolin is a rungler driven instrument. If these words mean nothing to you, I did a video on what the Benjolin is that explains what the rungler is, so that would probably be helpful to watch that if you haven't already, or you just don't if you happen to know, obviously you don't need to watch it. So like I used 5 cables and 6 knobs, and the 8 corresponded to the outputs, although I think I sort of lost the thread of what I was doing there. I have fairly severe ADD, so something like this it was a fun challenge, but I would not say it was super coherent by the end of everything, despite the amount of time I spent on it. But it was fun, and that's really the point. So these dots correspond to rungler moves, top to bottom in order. So the runglers all start at 12 except for this one, which starts completely off, so no input from the rungler at all, because this is for the clock section. So oscillator section, as you can see, there's no dots over here, so I could do whatever I wanted with it, and I did actually play the rungler a lot in that section. The clock section just has 1 dot. The rungler itself 3, so 3 movements of the rungler, and this one has 1, so 1 movement of the rungler. This one started at 12, this one started at 12, this one started off, and this one started at 12 as well. And then I just started playing with the pitches, playing with this one to get pitches, but doing this rungler movement to open it, so it set the amount of variation here. And then the second move I did was to move it down slightly more. Then the third move was to open the filter rungler up from 12, so halfway to 3 o'clock, or 3/4, 2/3, somewhere in that range. The fourth move was to open up the clock rungler just a little bit to allow some variation, and the last move was to lock the variations of the rungler, so close it all the way down. So as you can see, I used the physical positions or if you're familiar with the thing, you'll see I used the physical positions of this to sort of determine what those were doing, which it was not. This is all just shit that I came up with out of my head because, staring at this thing and thinking, oh, what could this mean and what could this mean and how is this related? It was a fun exercise. This is the patch, like I said. So we get basically, real quick, you've got the triangle wave goes to the external end, so I can mix the pulse wave that's generated with the triangle wave. Then I have the pulse width output going to the CV pitch in, so I can get FM on that input if I want it. The triangle wave of the oscillator 2, so a triangle wave that's running at the speed of the clock, basically, is an LFO, clocked LFO essentially, that goes to the filter via this. I can open and close the amount of the filter modulation, and then I've got this XOR going into the number of steps input and just changing it basically from time to time, from 127 to the 816 to 127. I've got it running at double rate, and yeah, that's it, right? That's the whole patch. Yeah, like I said, definitely some interesting inner patching here that got some different things going, but a very playable patch. The knobs that I chose to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the Rungler knob over here I used to do pitches. This controlled amount of FM, this CV control here. This controlled the amount of filter modulation from the LFO. This controlled the mix of the triangle wave, FM triangle wave from oscillator 1 and the pulse width wave that's generated between the two oscillators. This opened and closed the filter. And this controls the resonance of the filter. And that's it. That's the whole patch. That's week 15. Performance video to follow. You'll see it in the link here. Hopefully it'll pop right up. You can just click on it. Yep. Hope you have a nice week. Thanks again to Kilo Llama for his graphical score. And his post will also be linked in the description, so you can find him and watch the one that I did for him. Thanks. Bye.